Anthony in Florida, line 2. Anthony, you're live.
Good morning, John. I was listening to your guest yesterday. The guy was like, with APAC or whatever pack he was with. It begins to sound redundant as Americans. Well, I work from sun up to sundown, literally at days, and all the theft and the stealing that's going on. There's only so much we're going to put up with. You Republicans, you politicians, you're not doing your job. And there's going to come a point in time to where enough is enough. I'm tired, me and a whole bunch of us, we're tired of asking and petitioning. J6, not one person should have been charged, not one. J6 was the American citizen going to its government and petitioning. It took a grievance before them, hat in hand, and said, hey, listen to us, we have a problem. And instead, they unleashed hell on us. We're never going to forget this. Every jailer, every person that had something to do with a J6er that caused harm to his family or himself, whether it be a jailer or an administrator or warden, we're never going to forget you. We need accountability, and we didn't get it. We haven't gotten it yet, and we're tired of asking. And Trump better get wise, and the people in his administration better get wise. A lot of us have long memories, despite what somebody says, like, you have short memories. No, I have a long, long memory. I'm never going to forget what they did to us on J6 or in COVID. Fauci, we haven't forgotten about you. Ms. Burks, Scarf Lady, definitely ain't forgot about you. Ugly scarves, by the way. We definitely haven't forgotten about you. We want accountability. You better tell them, John, when you talk to the president or anybody, you better tell them the base has not forgotten. We want accountability. Yes, he's done a lot. Very good. Pat on the back. But you still got a long way to go. Accountability, arrests. If you can do it to Maduro, you can do it to Walz. He's guilty. That's why he's not running. He knows his time is short. We need to keep pounding the drum, and somebody needs to go to jail. We need some accountability. I get tired of saying it, but I'm never going to stop. The people need the base. We need justice. Period.
What do you think about Bongino? What do you think about Bongino leaving the FBI?
I think it's a shame, but he had a good show, and I guess it's a shame that all that potential, all that opportunity was wasted. Well, what the hell? We're gonna get it done. Now, then when he gets in there, him and Cash Patel, they look like those Vietnam pilots sitting in front of the camera, blinking their eyes by Morse code. Help me. They look like deer in the headlights. Every time you see Pam, the DOJ, she sounds horrific. She sounds afraid. Man, I wanted Matt Gaetz. I wanted the firebrand. It's a shame, but I don't know if Dan Bongino can repair his reputation and threatening other people. Like, hey, don't make fun of me. I don't know how that's gonna work, but now that he's gone, he really wasn't doing anything anyway. Okay, that's one down. Two more. Cash Patel and Bondi. Let's keep it going. At least he had the good sense to get out. He realized, okay, this isn't working. Mm-hmm. But it's a shame. He really could have made a difference, and I'm sorry that he didn't. I'm sorry. It's a damn shame. It really is. But hey, he can't do the job.
What do you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene now going on The View, being a contributor on The View?
I remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene was there down in New York City when the president was going through court. They almost lynched her down there. She went. It's another wasted. Another good conservative gone bad. And it's a shame because she needs to be recognized, as Colton Moore needs to be recognized for his accomplishments, getting beat up, standing for the president. It's a shame because we got to say in the military, you could have 1,000 attaboys, but it takes one you know what, to F it up. She's had her snap moment. Now all her gains, everything she's done for the movement has been wiped out. The View, I'd rather hear cats scratching on a barn door or I'd rather listen to toilets flushing, which is the same thing if you're listening to The View. A lot of crap going down the tubes. And that's what she is now. Another token conservative.
I agree with you. I have to say you're right on every front. Everything you said, you're 100% correct, dude. Anthony, thank you. We need accountability. We need it fast. And so we played all these Tim Walsh clips earlier. I mean, it's just you watch this guy. I mean, you cannot. The fraud there was so massive, and he just ignored. He knew what was going on. He ignored it to get votes. 15, 16, 18 billion dollars. Nobody even knows where the bottom is to this. The money they just stole, right? And because he allowed it, because they just wanted power. And, and look, I said this before, their view of the American taxpayer is disdain. Like, you idiot Republicans working 2 jobs to pay us money so we can steal it. This is how stupid you are. Like, we don't even work. We just take your money. That's how dumb you are, you MAGA people. Just keep working your 2 jobs, you idiots, so we can steal it. Unbelievable. And then he's like,
see, there needs to be fear, John. There needs to be a certain level of fear in order to get action. It's like, you know what? We're not going to let, everybody screaming and yelling and calling the office and be getting in their face. Like, enough is enough is enough. Do something. If we all say, okay, I'm not going to pay my taxes anymore. If everybody did that all at once, the level of fear and angst, like, what are you going to do? You can't put the entire American population in jail. Good Lord, you threaten to take a kid's McNuggets and internet access from him, and he's ready to shoot up his school. So, yeah, go ahead. If we just say, all right, I'm not paying. They take about 40%, 30 to 40% when I was living in New York. 30 to 40% of my paycheck. I made $2,500 a week when I got done, when New York and the feds got done with me. $1,400. Oh, from $2,500 to $1,400. Significant, brother. No state tax in Florida, by the way. And I'm 1099. That means I pay nothing. Nothing. But what about everybody else?
Well, you got to pay your federal taxes.
Well, of course.
But no state.
I pay.
No state tax.
Yeah, I give the federal government what it deserves. And I'll leave it at that. They can get it. They can get the rest from Somalia.
All right, Anthony, we got to go. Let's get to Nancy in South Jersey, line 1. Nancy, you're live.
Hi, John. Happy New Year. How are you?
Good.
So I very rarely do I strongly agree with Anthony from Florida, but I got to tell you something. He's speaking for all of us at this point, and I love your format where you're asking your callers questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What a better way to find out, because sometimes we call on a topic, but we're missing so many other issues that we have opinions about. So I love that you were just able to fire off questions and just hear how we're feeling. You're taking our pulse. I really, really think that cash has to go. I really think that Bondi has to go. The accountability issue is huge for us, and it's huge for a million reasons. It's not just J6. It's not just COVID. There's so many things we want to see accountability for. I want to see accountability for the border. I want to see accountability for the fraud. This stuff has probably been going on aside from all the illegals that came over. This stuff has probably been going on for 50 years. But the fact now that it's in our face and that everybody sees it, we're already struggling financially. And you can tell me as much as you want that the economy's coming back. It's coming back little by little. But, John, my insurance rates are still too high. My grocery bill is bleeping insane. I'm not feeling it any other way than gasoline. I am not getting a break any other way. And Besson's promising us, oh, wait for your tax refunds this year. Wait for the 2025 refunds. People are going to get so much money back. Are we really? Or is it just a select few that fall into categories that benefit from the no tax on tips? I don't know what's going on anymore, John. I feel forgotten. And I'm so sorry to call in the new year saying this, but I still feel forgotten. And I didn't feel this way during Trump's first term. I feel like he's dealing with all these 10,000 foot up issues that are ultra important and that are definitely reordering things on a larger scale. But I just wish he started here in our country with us, the little people, first, and then branched out to the bigger things. I don't walk a mile in his shoes. I don't want to judge him, but he's a different person, and I'm struggling to understand it.
Let me not agree with you here, and then I'll give you a chance to rebut. He passed the one big, beautiful bill. He did. He's asked the Senate countless times to get rid of the filibuster. They won't do it. I mean, he's asked them and demanded it. They won't do it. So the one big, beautiful bill gives everybody tax relief, which is a good thing. He's jawboned Jerome Powell. I think he should have fired him, but he jawboned him to get rates down. And we haven't had an opportunity to see what the benefits are going to be of these tax bills as everybody's going to get a refund. And he is driving down inflation in a lot of different ways. And his tariffs have been wildly successful. He's bringing all this money in and building our manufacturing back up. So I'm lost here as to why you feel your sense of disillusionment.
It's because your computer turned off, because I kind of went through it. Nothing is reaching us. I follow everything he does. I support it. I understand it, but nothing is trickling down. All I keep thinking in my head is how I felt when Reagan was in office. I was young and struggling and just starting out. This whole trickle-down economic theory thing never worked out then, and it's not hitting us fast enough.
What is it that you want? I mean, what is it that you want to see? Prices just bottom out? I mean, inflation went up 10% under Biden, Nancy. It went up 10%. That you just can't wave a magic wand and the 10% price increase goes away. He printed trillions of dollars, which drove up costs because we had too much printed money backed by nothing, chasing too few goods. You and I learned that probably in middle school, in the 7th grade. So what is it that he's not done that you wanted him to do? Like, name one thing.
John, everything that you're listing is everything that we're all aware of, all of us who support him. What we are saying is it's not reaching us. And you're saying, well, where's the magic wand? Trump's got a magic wand because he's using it internationally. And I'm not saying that stuff is not important, but all this 10,000 foot up accomplishments that he has on the global scale, maybe it's going to benefit us in 2, 3, 4, 10 years.
It's going to benefit,
I'm not feeling it now.
Benefit you now. It's going to just let the first half of 26 play out. You know, if things don't get better by June 30th, then I'll be more open to your despair. But let this play out. I mean, he passed a magnificent tax cut bill that should affect your life. You just haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see it when you get a massive refund back, as everybody's going to get back that paid into this system. So I fail to see what, other than the Department of Justice moving faster, and I agree with Anthony on this, people are frustrated that there's no accountability, but you're getting to the economy, and I'm trying to figure out what is it that you wanted him to do that he's not done. He said he would bring manufacturing jobs back. He's bringing them back. I mean, the GDP is we had a record fourth quarter. The first is going to even better. So the inflation went up 10%. Now it's 2%. Well, the 10% is still there. So, and gas prices were $1.80 in Roanoke, Virginia. I don't know what your New Jersey tax is, but that's between yourself and your government there in Jersey. So what is it that you want? Give me one thing domestically that you wanted him to do that he didn't do that would have improved your life. Just name one thing and I'm happy.
If we're talking about economics, or are we talking about anything? Because you're saying I'm focusing on economics.
You better. One thing he could have done to make your life better.
The manufacturing that's come back isn't here yet. So the opportunity for our kids to get the jobs that we want them to have that are the keeper jobs. These are the jobs that you can stay in for 20 and 30 years. They're not here yet, John, and they might not even be here before he's gone. And we all have fears about what's going to happen when he goes. Who's going to carry that torch? So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you. You're talking about inflation coming down. Yes, it's coming down, but it's not bringing down the prices. And you're saying he doesn't have the crystal ball to do that. He certainly has ways that he can address it. He's addressing it through big picture efforts that aren't trickling down to us. Grocery prices are insane, John. Nobody's going to argue that. They are out of control. That should have been relief that we saw. Egg prices, I could care less about. That was one tiny little staple in my whole food bill.
There's no policy to get inflation. The only way you would get this inflation down, okay, and let's just get real here, all right, Nancy, and I appreciate your call. The only way to get this down is if you raised interest rates to 15% and choked off the economy the way Paul Volcker did under Reagan when inflation under Carter raged at 15, 18, 20%. And it was unsustainable. He choked off money and he didn't print any of it and nobody could borrow it. And so nobody had anything. And so demand went down and prices relaxed. You had a 10% increase under Biden, and now it's 2%, which is within the Federal Reserve target. You can't get the 10% down. The only way you do that is by restricting the money supply and raising interest rates dramatically, like Paul Volcker did in 1981 and 82 after Reagan got in. But that means there's no houses. You can't buy anything. You can't buy a car. You can't buy anything. And we went through that and people sucked it up because there was no choice. That's the only way you do this. There's no way. There's other than that, you can do what Richard Nixon did in, what was that, a 69 or 70, and do price controls. And that failed because you can't restrict prices when there's too much money chasing too few supplies. So there's nothing he can do. You just got to wait this out. And wages have to be risen above inflation, and over time inflation subsides. But if there was a false sense of propaganda going out there that Joe Biden's inflation's 10% and I'm going to get prices back to the way they were in a year, there's no way to do that. They printed the money, and you see all the fraud that's going out there with this money they printed. So I know you're frustrated. I feel your pain. I'm not callous to it. I understand it. Ann and I feel the same thing. We feel the pinch. I mean, I can tell you that our family feels it. I mean, we feel it. We've cut back a lot of stuff, so we're all in the same boat here. But there's no magic wand, and if it was presented that, I don't remember him presenting it that way. But I mean, I think I look back on the year, and outside of the fact that the Epstein files should have gotten released on day one, so we're not talking about it, and more people should have been held accountable through the Department of Justice, I really can't think economically of anything else that he could have done. I mean,
Anthony's on with you guys. He wants in.
What?
Anthony's back. He wants to join you guys like last time.
Yeah, Sean, go ahead. You're on with John and Nancy.
It's Anthony and Nancy.
Okay, Anthony from Florida. Do you still have Sean?
No, Sean dropped. It's now Anthony and
Anthony
Nancy.
from Florida and Nancy. All right, Anthony, go ahead.
Okay, John, you said there's no magic wand. Wrong answer. What could you say? Name one thing, I can name two. Can absolutely right now declare a holiday, tax holiday. So you know what? For 30 days, nobody pays any federal tax. The president right now, with the bully pulpit, could go up in front and say, I need health insurance to be affordable for all. John Thune is the one that's responsible for this. They will not convene. They will not go so I can do my recess appointment. He has the power of the bully pulpit. He has more power than anybody. Right now, he could force them to do their job. He could declare a tax. He could go to the insurance company. He could get out there and he could pound and pound on the insurance companies and Thune and the Senate and like all of them. He could do this right now. Get rid of the filibuster. He could do this right now. Thune won't do it. I'm going to cut off all the money in Thune's area. He could do that right now. The Democrats would do that. This is what they want. They would do it, and they would act aggressively. I do not agree with that premise that there is no magic wand. Wrong answer, brother. I'm sorry. And the name of the people, okay, we got to wait the big, beautiful bill. Yeah, okay, it's beautiful. It got passed, and they passed it. Now they're sitting on it. Now they're hampering it in their own way. It is not reaching the people. We want, like I said, we want what we want. We want it right now. And he has the power to do something to give us relief. We're not feeling it. And I'm speaking for this lady and all the rest of it. We're not feeling it. And I think it's very disingenuous that you're not listening to that woman's cries of, hey, she's very gently asking, hey, I supported you. Could you start with us? We believed in you the first time. We gave you an overwhelming mandate. What he's doing ain't good enough. The standard is high. You wanted the job? Oh, he's got a lot on his shoulders. Too bad. You wanted the job? Now do it. You're rich. You're supposed to be smart and genius. You've got two buildings with your name on it.
Look, we're talking about the economy, and we're talking about inflation, and everybody is feeling inflation, and prices have not come down. But Teller, hold the music. But the reality of it is, I mean, look, and we were all in favor. I was in favor of expanding of going with the subsidies for another year. But if you want to bring costs down, they just passed a bill in the House, and we said this earlier, that gives people the opportunity to shop insurance across state lines. I mean, it gives a collective an opportunity to bring insurance down. It is not going to pass in the Senate because of the filibuster. And Trump has gone to the Senate on multiple occasions and said, you got to get rid of this filibuster. He's got 6 votes. 6 out of 53, maybe 8 on a good day. So what does he do? You can threaten John Thune, then you got 9 votes. I mean, what this is the reality of the republic that we've created. You got these Republicans in there that are afraid, that are not going to do it. They're scared. They're petrified. So I get the frustration, but I mean, for him to go out and say, Thune, I'm going to primary you. Well, what about the other 45 that are not voting for it either? You're going to primary all them? I mean, this is, I get what you're saying, and I don't discount the discomfort and the pain. I don't discount that. I mean, we're all feeling that. But the reality of what he inherited is he inherited a catastrophe. I mean, the money that Biden put out there, and he flooded the borders. Now, if you said to me, okay, deportations, we deported 500,000 people. It should be 2.5 million. And we gave DHS all that money in the one big beautiful bill. So this year, I want 4 million deported. Now, if you said that, I'd agree with you. But to get prices down, yes, he could say a tax holiday, but that's got to go through Congress. And he just can't say that. Congress does the appropriations. He would have to get that. He would have to have a tax holiday pass through the Senate and Congress. That's the way a republic works. He's not even though people want to say he's a dictator, he's not. So he can't do that. So we can rant and rave, but he can't give you a tax holiday. He's the president. It's got to go through Congress and appropriations. So it's just not the way it works. So I get the frustration. I get it. But we also have to have real solutions. And if your solution is get another 5 million people out of this country in a year, he could do that because that's within their jurisdiction. They haven't done it. And they're a quarter of what they promised on deportations. If you want to tell me that the H-1B visas should get banned, I'm with you on that. They should get banned. I'm for $100,000 a piece. That's it. Under 100,000, no. Now somebody's out there saying 15,000. No, 100,000. Ban those. Nancy says, well, the manufacturing jobs aren't coming. Well, he's got the money in. You got to get the plants built. I mean, this thing is not going to happen in 60 days. So I get the frustration, but we also have to be real about what is within his purview. And having a tax holiday, he can't do that legally the way the country's set up. So I understand your frustration, but
I find it very odd and strange that, okay, when politicians come to the people, yes, he inherited this, but he said, okay, I will appoint, this is what I'm going to inherit, but I'm going to appoint people, smart people, that will fix this issue. If he had come to us and gave us that spiel, you just said, well, I can only do so much and blah. That's not what he said. That's not what they told us. That's not what they came to us. They came to us with, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm your retribution. I'm going to come in with a sledgehammer. Now it's, now the message has changed slightly. Not a lot, but, well, yeah, we're going to do this. But, all right. Now, the reality is at the bottom of our balance sheet in our paychecks. So, okay, yeah, frustration, some of us are feeling it more than others. Okay, great. So the next time a politician or a Republican comes to us, and this is why they're in trouble, because what they say they're going to do versus what they really do. So that's why the GOP is getting the way it's happening.
Well, that's why Mandami won, because Mandami went to New Yorkers and said, I'll have free food, free bus fare. I won't raise your rent. I'll fix your apartments. And now they're saying they're going to seize the property of white people because it's property ownership is racist and it's white supremacy. And I'm going to give the property to the city and I'm going to let you live there free and everything is free. And he'll do that for a while until the city collapses. He's got a 70% approval rating. You can do that. I mean, there's an approach. They're going to try to do the same thing here in Washington, D.C. with another communist running for mayor. Luckily, we can take the city over where I live, so we're somewhat insulated. But yeah, I see what you're saying. But the reality is, okay, prices, inflation is 2%. Under Biden, it was 10. That's a dramatic decrease, but the 10 is still there. And yeah, on the campaign trail, maybe he should have said, look, this 10% under Biden's going to be there, but I'm going to stop it from getting any worse. Maybe he should have said that, but that doesn't change things. Wages are going to continue to grow. I mean, there's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Your base tax rate went down. Your child tax credit went up. If you own a small business, the deductions for investment got locked in. The 20% carryover is still there. There's a lot of good things that has happened in this tax bill that nobody's seen yet. When Nancy, when you do your taxes, it's going to be a really good April 15th. Now, was that the answer to everything? No. But I feel your pain, but also there's reality of the situation. And we have a small majority. It is what it is. And if there's one thing that he could have done, it's ramp up these deportations. And we got to get rid of this filibuster. He's got 8 votes. I mean, what do you do, Nancy, when you got 8 votes? 8 out of 53. That's all he's got, 8 votes. What do you do? Primary all of them? Half of them aren't even up. So, I get the pain.